Well, how you doing today? It's Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. And you should know by now, if you've listened for any length of time, you know it is your program. You are the ones who drive it with your takes, your insights, your wisdom, your advice, your lived experiences. And today, it'll come in extra handy because we have our monthly All About Relationships show. So you could start dialing right now. I'll give you the number and then hand it off to Debbie for a little bit more of, to kind of tell you what the program, this All About Relationships show is about. 833-288-EWTN. 833-288-3986.
Hello, Jerry. We have brand new listeners each and every weekday, and it's super exciting. So we kind of go through a little bit of the background of Take Two so you understand the platform so you can enter into the discussion. It's kind of like we're in a virtual living room, okay, with a nice cool drink. We're just relaxing, shooting the breeze, changing the world, right? And that's how we do this on Take Two. So if you're listening right now and you can relate to this topic about relationships, I'll share a little bit more, like Jerry said. Please call in. You do not have to be Catholic to call in. We want to hear from you. We're together in this. We are journeying together. We're pilgrims on a journey. We want to learn a little bit, grow a little bit, and get closer to God. Hopefully by the end of this brief hour we get to spend with one another. It is our monthly All About Relationships show. It's very popular. People are spreading it on social media, which is great. And we talk about any relationship that is important to you. Your relationship with yourself, your pets, God, family, coworkers, your parish community, anything, any relationship that is important to you, you want to talk about. Maybe you want to highlight, you want to share some great things that are happening, or you want to share some difficulties. We are here to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly, and everything in between. Okay? That's what Take Two is all about. So start dialing right now and bring us your most important relationship. 833-288-3986. That is the number to call. Matt Gabinski's waiting to answer your call. There's open phone lines right now, but that's not going to last probably a minute or two longer. So start dialing now at 833-288-3986.
You can also weigh in on this topic in some other ways. We have our email account up and running. As always, it's 24/7. You can email anytime. Take2@EWTN.com. We can take your comments. Jeff Burson monitors our social media platforms with the video on Facebook and YouTube. Hello to all of you great folks watching there. You can post your comments there. Jeff will get those over to us. The show has a website. It is called Take Two Show, take2show.com. And that's those are the ways you can get a hold of us right now. In addition to calling 833-288-3986. And you get to give Matt Gabinski a workout on a show like this because the calls usually come pretty fast. And Matt is just great about making his way through them, getting you set up to get on the air. So do dial us today, 833-288-3986.
I want to do a great shout out to Church Pop. I want to thank them so very much. If any of the staff is listening to our show, I know sometimes they listen. We've had them on our show. But Jerry, because of Church Pop article, Marty and I were able to attend the last day. There was only a 2-day special here in Arizona of The Matter of Life. It was the documentary of the history of abortion and the whole abortion industry and the marketing campaign and everything that has transpired over like the last 100 years. And so Marty and I went to go see the 2-hour film, The Matter of Life documentary. It was phenomenal. Nothing really in the documentary was shocking to me because I've seen a lot of it for many years. But the way they put it together, I think, was very helpful with where we're at today. So I would suggest if it comes to a theater near you, I know it's going to be a short, like 2-day, where they premiere it. I was happy to see that the theater was almost full. Good. That was great. It's good that we stay very much informed and up to speed on what's happening and what has happened in the past, 50, 100 years to get us where we are today.
Right. Good deal. Mm-hmm. Good deal. Well, we have a couple phone lines still open. Typically, if you're in on that first group of callers, you're going to get on the program. 833-288-EWTN, 833-288-3986. If you are breathing, you have relationships. As Debbie said earlier, maybe you're struggling just to accept yourself. A lot of us have issues with that, because of wounds and traumas and things that have happened to us. So that self-acceptance can be difficult, and that can even often project onto our relationship with God. So if you'd like to talk about how your relationship with the Lord is going, your prayer life, relationship with the church, how the faith, what the faith means in your life, or again, any family relationships or just about anything else, 833-288-EWTN.
I want to talk about our relationship, Jerry, the ministry relationship. Yes, I do. I want to talk. Yes, is right. No,
on Global Radio?
Yeah. And the reason why I want to address this is because I said to a lot of our listeners that we would, a lot of the Take Two family, that we would address it at the next All About Relationships show, and it's here. It's arrived. We're in May, and we do this once a month. A lot of you have commented that Jerry and I have a very, our partnership, our ministry work together, it just seems like we're so connected. Well, we are, and it's very important. And Jerry and I have spent how many hours, Jerry? Probably hundreds of hours talking on the phone, sharing from our hearts, where we're at with God, where we're at with life, where we're at, in ministry, what we want to accomplish in ministry, how we want God to potentially use us. And we found that we were drawn together, and we definitely tap into each other's strengths. And I hope I'm speaking for you, Jerry, and to correct me if I'm wrong on anything. We very much have a great friendship and a great trust. And when you have that foundation, you're able to do, I think, really beautiful things. And a lot of you have commented that you've noticed that about us. Well, we want to turn it back to you. Okay. The same things can happen for you in your relationships, but you have to plant that very strong foundation, and then it can, blossom and flourish from there. Did I say anything incorrect, or did I misrepresent us?
I don't think so. That foundation, I think, for us is, we each go to daily mass. We each pray the rosary. You pray the rosary and attend mass with your husband, Marty. And that, just the spiritual life, the prayer life, the relationship with Jesus, I think, is the start. So Debbie's right. You can have that as well, Take Two family. So join us today, all about relationships, at 833-288-3986.
This is Life Issues with Brad Mattis, president of Life Issues Institute.
The abortion industry is making a killing in more ways than one. First, there's the death of the unborn child. Second, they're making huge profits from selling unsuspecting women the chemical abortion pill. 2 years ago, the going price for a chemical abortion was $560, while the actual cost of the pills can be $75. It's even worse when you realize Planned Parenthood and the rest of the abortion industry cut out almost all overhead. Thanks to Biden, they're no longer required to have in-person medical exams, ultrasounds, or other crucial tests to lessen the danger of these pills. An online abortion business with only a phone, computer, and source of the pills can make a huge profit, a recipe for disaster for women everywhere.
For more information, visit our website at lifeissues.org and stay informed, more informed than you've ever been.
We've heard the phrase, it takes a village to raise a child. However, at any age, we need a village around us that helps make sense of life's challenges. Our Catholic faith through prayer and God's Word is part of finding peace. But when you talk with a certified life coach, you start to make those turning points that deepen your walk with God. When you're ready to build your community, you can get a free consultation today at standtalltoday.com. That's standtalltoday.com. We hope you join us on this May's All About Relationships show here on Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. Bring any relationship to the table and we'll talk about it. We'll discuss it. Hopefully you'll walk away with a better understanding of yourself and the person that you're in relationship with. And that's important, especially if it's about God. We'd love to talk about that, your relationship with God. But before we get to Amy in Dallas, and there was another Amy on the line, I believe from Philadelphia. If you are still listening, call back. We'll try to hold that line open for you for a few minutes. If you can call back at 833-288-3986. So Jerry, before we get to Amy in Dallas, I want to just share with our listeners a new book from EWTN Publishing. Why do I want to share this? This relates perfectly to relationships. Living Calm, Mastering Anger and Frustration by Dr. Ray Guarendi. This is the book you need to master your anger so your anger won't master you. Dr. Ray unpacks the many types of anger and the types of the types of people who suffer most from anger. That's important, folks. I'm definitely getting this book. You'll learn why feelings aren't neutral, and whether anger is a product of your nature or nurture. You'll learn the difference between righteous and unrighteous anger, and why those closest to us can anger us the most. Oh yeah, I'm definitely getting this book. And you get it at EWTNRC.com. Buy Catholic, shop EWTNRC.com. And the name of the book again is Living Calm, Mastering Anger and Frustration. Just go to EWTNRC.com and put in that book title and it'll pop right up.
Anything by Dr. Ray Guarendi is excellent and very useful. So do go to EWTNRC.com, as Debbie said. Okay, 833-288-3986 with your relationship question, dilemma, concern, joy, anything you want to share about a relationship. 833-288-3986. And as promised, Amy in Dallas will be up first today on the program, and Amy is listening to us on Guadalupe Radio Network. Hi, Amy. Thanks for your patience. Welcome.
Hi, yes, I just wanted to ask about dealing with a difficult spouse. I don't know if I'm the difficult one or my husband is, but we're just having a lot of different, situations with finances, intimacy, having kids. We already have 3 kids, and I'm working from home. Usually he runs a small business, but with the pandemic, it's been on and off. So I feel like I'm the one that's, bringing all the money in. But basically, my question is, how can I deal with my spouse, and how can he deal with me? Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Well, Amy, a couple things I just wanted to share. First of all, you're not alone. Anytime finances are brought up between spouses, it usually is, it can be a problem. Why? Because we come with a different set of different understandings of the finances, what it means, our future, where we came from as children. Maybe we grew up, not having enough food to eat, and then there's this problem of wondering if you're always going to have money, or maybe you grew up, with a lot of money and you don't understand, how to be responsible with money. So there's all these different, ways that people view money, and it's always a difficult conversation. But it's a difficult conversation. Money is always a problem in business transactions and everything. As soon as everybody can talk, principles and, programs and philosophies and things, but as soon as they hit money, it's like, oh my goodness, all the walls go up. Everybody, starts to get into defense mode. So what I would suggest is to really make sure when you're tackling financial especially the financial portion of your relationship, is to make sure that you guys are both in a good place, meaning that you've slept well, you've eaten, you're relaxed. It's not any tension filled when you're talking about the finances. And so I would first suggest that, to be in a good place and to schedule it. Say, we're going to schedule a meeting. We're going to schedule a meeting to talk about our financial situation and where we're headed, and a plan, and get a plan together. Amy, that's the reason why Jerry and I got into the ministry of life coaching. Life coaching is very important because life coaching goes from this point forward. Life coaching doesn't really look in the rearview mirror very much. It very much creates a plan that works for you going forward. And that's why it works for people, and people really thrive well. So I would suggest maybe even bringing in a third party, whether it's a therapist or a counselor or a life coach, or even, somebody very objective, not like a relative or something, that can kind of, process with you, or a financial planner or something. So that's why that's important. So I just want to state that up front, that you're not alone with that. Now, sometimes the financial portion of a marriage goes into all the other areas, like intimacy and what we're going to do about our relationship and other things. And then it becomes this convoluted mess, and you end up fighting, and everybody just gets really hurt. There's a lot of hurt feelings. So you want to take it piece by piece. That's the first thing I would say. What do you think about that so far?
That sounds good. Eating and sleeping, that's the first two.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, let me share something with you. Most fights, and first of all, when husbands and wives are fighting, that's the word fight. What does it mean? As soon as you say you're having a fight, somebody has to win and somebody has to lose. So that's a main problem right there, is that we kind of adopt this thing that we're fighting. No, we should be having some very good, solid discussions and some real deep communication moving forward. So that's what we should be having, because that's where you get this win-win. You create a win-win. We both have dignity. We both walk away being heard and validated, and we come up with a plan. But I will share with you that most couples, I don't know if you know this, Jerry, you probably do. Most couples that fight, if you go back and look at the circumstances, they've either have not eaten, they had a stressful day, or they're very, very tired and exhausted and burnt out. So you are more apt to enter into a quote unquote fight when you're just depleted to begin with.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Did that help? Did that help, Amy?
Yes. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and I would simply, I thought that was fantastic, Deb, all that you said there. I would just simply say, never leave it unresolved, especially, at the end of the day. There's a very good scripture passage in Ephesians chapter 4, starting about verse 25. St. Paul writes, "Therefore each of you must put off falsehood and speak truthfully to your neighbor," and I think we could probably insert spouse there, "for we are all members of one body." And then in verse 26 of Ephesians 4, Paul says, "In your anger do not sin. Do not let the sun go down while you are still angry. Do not give the devil a foothold." So it rises to the level of a spiritual issue as well, Amy. Through, just simply not giving the devil any chance to get a wedge in there and divide you and your husband. God has brought you together, and what God has brought together, let no man, and I will add no spirit, tear apart, put asunder. So you've got it in you, and he's got it in him too, and we could assure you of a whole world family praying for this situation for you, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right, blessings, Amy. Thanks for calling. Good deal.
I wanted just to say that I mentioned our life coaching ministry. You can find it at standtalltoday.com. Okay? Mm-hmm. Jerry, we got Matt Gabinski sent in a message. Do you want to address the other Amy's situation?
Well, you want to go to Alice first, and then we can get to that. Alice is waiting patiently, and the phone number, we have a line open. It's all about relationships today. What would you like to talk about? 833-288-3986. And yes, the Amy in Philadelphia. Matt took notes there. We'll get to that right after Alice in Illinois, listening on Spirit Radio. Hi, Alice. Welcome.
Hi. Hello, Jerry and Debbie. And trust me, I'm used to this, but my first name is Elise. I know it looks like Alice, and I get that a lot. Don't worry. It's okay. It's okay.
I'm in good company then, right?
Yes. Right. Yes. And I appreciate you taking my call. I have to be honest, I've never called in before, and I just happened to be driving home from my tax appointment of all things. But I heard Jerry say something about, or maybe it was Debbie, about kind of knowing yourself, maybe. And so my husband passed away. It'll be a year into this May 31st. And we are married 39 and a half years. Mm-hmm. And so I guess I'm just, your words just hit me. I'm struggling. I realize to refine a center.
Right.
Now, I work full time. I'm a nurse. I've kept my position. I've been trying, just to do everything normally, but it's not normal. I mean, I'm probably fortunate to be, I think, as far as I am, but I really wonder how I'm to figure out who I'm going to be now without my husband.
Sure.
And there's times where I just feel like God is so far from me. And I know that probably can't be true, but I appreciate anything you'd have to say. Thank you.
Absolutely. So a couple things. You said your husband passed away. First of all, Elise, do you feel comfortable giving us his first name?
Yeah, it's Joe.
Joe. And when did Joe pass?
It was May 30th of last year.
May 30th. Okay. And you were married 39 years, and do you have children together?
We have one daughter.
One daughter.
So
okay.
She's 23.
Yeah. Okay. And you're a nurse. Okay. So you put these puzzle pieces together. I do this for, my ministry work in coaching. So thank you for giving the details on this, because it helps tremendously. So here's a couple quick thoughts. First of all, you're a nurse. Nurses are known to give. You give a lot. Okay. So when you give a lot, you invest yourself. Okay. You invest yourself in other people. So obviously Joe was very fortunate. You invested yourself in Joe. And now Joe has finished his time here on earth. We're so sorry for your loss. And I know it must be extremely painful, because 39 years is a lifetime. And Joe went on to meet the Lord. And now you are kind of refiguring, or, kind of getting, where you're at, and trying to figure out exactly who you are, and maybe even whose you are, because you made the comment that you don't know where, maybe God is not that close. Okay, I just want to have you look at it from this angle. Maybe, just maybe, God is so close, he's smothering you right now. Okay? And that's why it's hard for you to even feel him, because he's just smothering you. He's just in like a blanket that's just wrapped around you so tight. So that's number one. Number two, it's not abnormal at all to be in your position and to be feeling like that. You're still actually in, the grief process. So I pray that you went through some kind of grief support and some, and gave yourself time to really go through that, and still go through it and care for yourself. But here's the beautiful part about where you're at. You've now expressed it. You're already 50% there. Okay. So all we have to do is have you have a disposition, an intentional plan to move forward, and you'll see that things will start to make sense, and you will start to feel better, Elise, not feel like something's broken, something's missing. Okay. So you're not alone. What you're feeling is absolutely normal. Okay. We just need to, but I'm glad you expressed it, because most people just stuff it, and then that's not a good thing. So just from the beginning part of what I said, what do you think about that so far?
I just feel like you're speaking to me. I just really feel like you're speaking to my spirit. I mean, yeah. Thank
Absolutely.
You.
Yeah. So here's what you do. Get closer and closer to God. Okay? Start pulling out books that you like to read about God, about the saints, read scripture. Go ahead and go to adoration. Go to Mass more. Pray the rosary. Have Christian music playing. Do whatever you need to do to feel that connection with God. And you'll see that the insights will start to come. I could feel the Holy Spirit in this, Elise, strongly. Joe wants you to be happy, Elise. He wants you to be happy, and he wants you to be whole, because your time is not done yet. So you have more to do, and more to give, and more to live. And so I pray for you that you keep diving deeper with God, and you'll see that God he's got his arms wrapped around you tightly. Jerry?
Well, I remember when I was going through a tough time and I was seeing a priest about once a week, and I just needed to be held, for a minute or two before I left. And it's like he held me so close, he buried my face, in his chest. And it just reminded me that sometimes, God is holding you so close you can't see him, as Debbie is saying. But I would say, I love everything Debbie said, Elise. I would say God has a plan for you going forward, and it's not a plan B. This is part of God's ultimate plan for you. He's allowed you to experience this, as difficult as it is. Maybe he's going to use you to help other people who have gone through similar things. But he definitely, you're still in an age, absolutely, where you've got, as Debbie said, so much to give and so much to live. So I'm just blessed and happy that you called today.
I understand that you guys do counseling then. I'm sorry, you called it life coach counseling.
Yeah, it's life coaching. It's at standtalltoday.com. We got a great team of life coaches there, Elise. Standtalltoday.com. This is for anybody. You can get a free consultation. Doesn't cost you anything, so check that out. Elise, you hear the music there. Please email us if you have any further discussion about this at take2@EWTN.com. We've got Lori coming up, and also Amy from Philadelphia. We're going to answer her question on Take Two.
The most original and exclusive Catholic content is on EWTN Radio.
This week on EWTN News, In Depth, moves to create a right to abortion through Congress, what senators are doing to try to codify Roe v. Wade. And a college student trades in his football jersey for a Roman collar. Join us for EWTN News In Depth, Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern, exclusively on EWTN Radio and television.
Hi, I'm Doug Keck, and this is an EWTN Bookmark Brief. Speaking with Bill Donahue of the Catholic League about his latest work, The Truth About Clergy Sexual Abuse, Clarifying the Facts and the Causes, published by Ignatius Press, available through our EWTN Religious Catalog, EWTNRC.com. So, Bill, tell us, why should somebody want to read a book about clergy sexual abuse?
The time has come to get rid of the myths. There are a lot of myths out of there that somehow we own this problem when we don't. And we have to get rid of the myth that somehow this was a pedophilia crisis. That's simply a lie. It's been a homosexual crisis, homosexual driven from the very get-go. And that's why I wrote the book.
Absolutely, and people should check it up. This is an EWTN Bookmark Brief. Bill Donahue is the author, The Truth About Clergy Sexual Abuse, Clarifying the Facts and the Causes, and he does, published by Ignatius Press, available through our catalog. I'm Doug Keck. This has been an EWTN Bookmark Brief. I encourage you to check this book out. See you next time.
Take Two with Jerry and Debbie is on YouTube. Search YouTube to find the EWTN YouTube channel, so you'll never miss an episode of our show or any of your favorite EWTN radio shows.
Matt Swaim here. Tomorrow on the Sunrise Morning Show, we'll talk Bible foods with Rita Heichenfeld and chat more with Gary Machuda about his book, Revolt Against Reality. Now back to Take Two with Jerry and Debbie.
We're so happy you're with us. Take Two with Jerry and Debbie and you on EWTN Radio. I am Jerry Usher along with Debbie Georgiani and the show team in place. We got Matt and Jeff and Ace. We're going to get to Amy's question on the from the East Coast, and then Lori and Anna, so please stay with us. But it is so exciting when we get to announce anniversaries of how long stations and networks have been with EWTN Radio. And we want to give a big shout out to one of our longtime family members celebrating their anniversary this week, Catholic Radio Network, 18 years on the air. They've gone from one station to many stations, 18 signals altogether in Missouri, Kansas, and Colorado. So congratulations to Jim and Carolyn O'Loughlin and their team at Catholic Radio Network, celebrating 18 years of great Catholic radio with EWTN. Mm-hmm. And as I was preparing to mention that, I was reminded that on this day, 42 years ago, I worked my first radio shift.
Wow.
I was 18 years old, May 18th, 1980.
Wow. How did you remember that?
Yeah, well, my memory's almost gone, but no, it was an interesting day. You know, I was just a brand new newbie going on the air, working the overnight shift, and just basically pushing buttons and was queuing up the KCK, some American Top 40 records and things like that. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Do you have a picture of you doing that job?
I do, yeah, somewhere. Yeah.
Is there any way you could send it to all of us? We'd like to see it.
I'd have to find it. Yeah.
Okay.
I'd have to search through all of my photos. That could take a while. But anyway, I give thanks to God on this day that he directed me. I mean, I never had a doubt this is what I wanted to do in life.
Yeah, and you're very good at it. Very good. God has gifted
God.
you in this area. Again, a great big shout out and congratulations to Catholic Radio Network. We love you guys. You guys are doing great work, and it's just going to continue to get bigger and bigger and bigger. So thank you for the fine work of spreading the gospel message 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Okay, so are we going to Amy's comment first or Lori?
Yeah, Amy couldn't hold, but she did want us to address her comment, yeah.
Do you want me to read it, or do you want to read it?
Either way, I can if you want.
Okay, go ahead. You go right ahead.
Amy on the East Coast called and said, my husband is an immigrant, and very soon we'll be going to his country for a while, and I am really stepping out of my comfort zone. I really like being the one who knows what's going on, so this will be tough. Any advice would be greatly appreciated, and that's from Amy on the East Coast.
Well, I mean, she didn't share what country they're going to. She said that we will be going to his country. I mean, some countries are very, welcoming of Americans. Some are not. I mean, I don't know if Amy, if your husband is Catholic or not. I mean, if there's, a different faith involved. I mean, so you're right. They're stepping out of your comfort zone, yeah. And especially in this day and age with what's happening with the war that's going on and the pandemic and all the uncertainty, I can understand where you would be very insecure or uncomfortable or not sure what's gonna happen. I hope, Amy, you consulted with a lot of people you trust and make sure that everything's in place for you to take this trip, and that you have the proper technology, to make sure you can stay connected, to the U.S. and stuff. And so, with the comment is a little bit vague, so I don't know, where the comfort zone thing is, and maybe it's a new place, and during this time of the world, it's so uncertain. That's troubling in and of itself. So, yeah, I mean, you're gonna have to do a lot. I would say do a lot of praying. I mean, make sure you stay very close to your guardian angel, so your guardian angel guards you and guides you through the whole trip.
Yeah, I can share with you, Amy. I've had the same thing. I've traveled around the U.S. hundreds of times in my life, and when the first I actually traveled internationally a few times, and when the first times came up, I actually, one of the times was I went to visit my uncle who was a missionary priest in Thailand, and the people there loved him. They are just the most beautiful people in the world, but for me, there was anxiety. It's like, what's it going to be like for me? It boiled down to simple things, like what are my sleeping arrangements going to be? The food's going to be different, the culture's different. So I had that issue with the comfort zone as well, and I would simply say, your husband must certainly love you dearly, and he wants you to go and make this trip with him. I would say look at it as a positive. You're probably going to be celebrating his life, his family, his relationships, his culture, and he is going to, I'm sure, do all he can to help make this a comfortable and peaceful and blessed and joyful experience for you. So we will certainly be praying for that, and the Take Two family around the world, Debbie, I'm sure will join us in praying for Amy and her husband. Safe travels and everything.
Yes, definitely safe travels. You can always email us. Folks, we read all the emails. Our wonderful producer, Ace McKay, has agreed to step into the circle and help us answer some of the emails. So if you get a response back, just know that we have read everything. So one of us will respond, one of the three of us, and we're a team, and it's wonderful. And so Ace said he would happily respond just so we can stay up with the emails. So you can always email us at take2@ewtn.com. And by the way, we are starting the addiction book, the interviews. I know I had promised it was going to be the beginning of May, but my husband and I fell a little bit sick and under the weather, so we're a little bit behind, but I'm going to start reaching out to everybody that emailed us about being part of the book project. Okay, so if you emailed us, I will get back to you. Not Ace, not Jerry, me.
And I was just back to the Take Two Take Two email issue, Debbie's right. We read everything. We do get behind in answering them, and we get reminders that we're a little bit behind when people email us a second time and say, "Did you get my first email?" The answer is yes, we did. But we love you reaching out to us. You've come to expect a response, and that's our relationship with you, the Take Two family. So we want to really maintain that relationship and make sure that you get whatever advice or thoughts you're looking for, or prayers you're looking for from us in the Take Two team.
We just got a comment from one. Thank you, Jerry. We just got a comment from one of our Take Two family members that about Amy's comment about going with her husband to his country. The comment was, make sure you exactly what we said. Make sure you check out that if this country is friendly to Americans and friendly to Christians, and make sure you have everything in place to make sure you're protected. As a Christian, as an American, it's very important when you go to these foreign countries, because they don't do things the same way we do things, and that can be unsettling. Okay, Lori is up next in Michigan on iHeart Radio app, I believe, and Lori has been waiting patiently, and we want to welcome her to the All About Relationships show. Hi, Lori.
Hi. Nice to talk to you guys. I've enjoyed listening to you. So mine is a unique relationship. So I have, I'm from a family of 10. There's 10 siblings. My oldest sister had passed away. She's the oldest. She passed away in 1978 of cancer. It was very devastating at the time, and she had 2 little boys. Anyways, but we all stayed connected. My parents passed away. My dad passed away in 2006. My mom passed away in 2020. My mom was 97 years old. But anyways, during the pandemic, we started kind of a music chain, and we all would, we took turns being the DJ, and we would pick songs for the day. But anyways, it carried on, and now it's so funny. So now we have like different things, and we all, it's almost a daily thing, and we, pick songs. Sometimes if we just have a song in our heart and we want to share it with our siblings. But I tell you, it has been such a wonderful way to stay connected with my siblings. So that's my story.
Wow, that's beautiful, Lori. So many people during the pandemic did come up with creative things to stay connected, to try and still bring a little bit of peace and joy and sanity into their lives. Obviously, a lot of our priests went above and beyond the call to help us with our spiritual lives, but this is a very beautiful thing. You talked about having a song in your heart, and it's kind of funny, Lori. I'll share this with you and the whole listenership. Our producer, Ace McKay, is a longtime radio guy as well, and so Debbie knows a lot of music too. So each morning before we go on the air, we're kind of bantering before the show, and we end up singing, part of one song, this or that or whatever, and pretty soon we're all singing it, so we're kind of doing the same thing, but off the air. It's kind of funny.
Well, here's what Ace really does, okay? He comes on the air he comes on the microphone with us and starts singing a song, and then it gets in our heads, and we can't get it out of our head all day long. That's what happens. So and how is that so powerful, Lori? Because music is healing. Mm-hmm. Music is powerful. It reaches deep into the interior, and you can't get it out of your heart. It changes the emotions. It changes. It's a very interesting form of listening to music, hearing music, letting it play around in your head, letting it touch your emotions. And so I think it is brilliant that you and your family used music as the method to keep you guys together, and also to heal, going through the loss of your family members. Could you give us or do we have the names of your family members for our prayer book?
You do not. That would be wonderful. So my dad was Bill Berryman.
Mm-hmm.
My mom, Ann Berryman.
Okay.
My sister, Patricia Metcalf.
Mm-hmm.
My brother-in-law, Steve Metcalf.
Mm-hmm.
And my other brother-in-law, Jim Stawara, Stawara.
Thank you.
I know we have a lot of losses, but we have, and my oldest nephew, so that was my sister Patty's son, he's actually the DJ at this time. and we have to vote on something. So anyways, I just know my mom and dad, everybody is smiling. And I have a brother that lives in Florida. My sister lives in Cincinnati, and the rest of us are like all in Michigan. But I tell you, it's so joyful.
Well, you know why it's joyful too? My husband and I are ballroom dance. We did ballroom dance for many years. And when you do ballroom dance, the dance instructors will tell you that music and dancing and that type of connection is so incredibly life-giving in the sense it fills you with good emotions, the endorphins, the feelings. You feel whole again, you know. And that's why they tell people when you've gone through a major loss or something has happened in your life, a life transition or something, and something has happened and you don't know where to go. People always say, go to the dance studio, go to the dance floor, because you can just, it's amazing the healing kind of feeling that comes from hearing music and staying connected through music, especially when it's very, very good, solid music, okay? Now, I'm not into the whole head-banging, crazy word, demonic sourced music. That stuff, and I know that's not what we're talking about, but so I would caution people to really look into the lyrics and the music that they're listening to, because with that power comes also an influence that could go in a negative direction. So good, solid music, dancing on the dance floor, I think it's absolutely very beautiful.
I love it. Well, thank you guys. I love listening to both you and Jerry. You make my day, and God bless you both.
God bless you, Lori. Thank you. A quote attributed to St. Augustine: to sing is to pray twice. So that's a beautiful reality. And also, just got a text from our dear friend, Father John, Debbie, and he wanted to say hello to us, and he is having his 15th anniversary Mass this Sunday as a priest. He was a longtime Franciscan brother for many, many years and became a priest of the Diocese of San Bernardino here about 15 years ago. So, Father John, we love you with all our hearts. Thank you for your listenership. All the times you've lifted us up with texts and phone calls. I know, Debbie, I'm not going to hog it here. You can say a quick word to Father John.
I'm glad we confirmed that. 15 years, Father. You're amazing. We love you. Happy anniversary. And we know you're going to have an amazing celebration. We're with you in spirit. We love you to pieces. And thank you for being such a big support to us and a friend to us and a leader, as a shepherd for us. So thank you, Father John. Incredible. I love him.
Yeah, he says Mass at a lot of parishes. His main ministry is in a hospital. He does hospital ministry and probably hospice work and stuff like that. So it can be very, very draining, but also very rewarding as well. So, Father John, you're a beautiful man. Thanks be to God for your holy vocation. And
we met, Father John, at the LA Rec Religious Education Congress in California many years ago by accident. We don't believe it was any accident. The Holy Spirit brought all three of us together, and we've been very, very close friends ever since. And so we thank God for that.
We're going to go to Anna in just a second, but speaking of Holy Mass, you can hear it live right here on many of these same EWTN radio stations. Holy Mass from Our Lady of the Angels Chapel every morning, 8 Eastern Time on EWTN Radio, every 2 hours on EWTN Radio Essentials. Father Patrick will be presiding at tomorrow's Mass, so you can catch the Mass many different ways right here on EWTN Radio.
Okay, so ballroom dancing can be very expensive. I understand that. We just received a comment. You don't have to go to a professional dance studio. Do it at home. Okay, grab your, teenagers and put on a beautiful song and have a nice, dance. And everybody knows how to even pretend to do the waltz or something, or the tango. You know what? It's just a beautiful expression, and it's very wholesome. It's a beautiful way to, a beautiful activity to bring people closer. Okay, Anna is up next, a first-time caller in Augusta, Georgia, listening on St. Paul Radio. Hi, Anna. Thank you so much for waiting. What relationship do you want to talk about?
Hi, Debbie. Hi, Jerry.
Hi, Anna.
I wanted to ask you guys if you had any advice for me with my relationship with my parents. So I'm 23, and I live at home. I'm working, but I do live at home with my parents. And I'm just trying to connect with them more.
Mm-hmm.
They spend a lot of time on their iPads, or my dad will be on his Kindle. And I've tried to, like, bring it up and be like, hey, can we talk? Can you put your iPad down? Or, like, trying to ask them to, like, play a board game with me or something.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just been really hard to get them to, like, be willing to put their technology down.
So do they just like ignore you, or they just try to do two things at the same time?
Like, my mom really, like, she just likes to look at her iPad and talk to me. And so I have to, like, really make an effort to be like, hey, can you please put that down so we can actually, like, talk and have a conversation.
Right.
And spiritually, I try to, like, pray with them, but they're not really interested. But they go to Mass every week, but
they're not interested in praying outside of Mass.
Like with me. I know my dad prays by himself. I don't know if my mom prays regularly.
Okay, so may I go first? Okay,
Sure.
So a couple things. Have you thought about making an appointment with them? That's number one. So what you may want to do is say, okay, guys, I need an appointment with you. Can we schedule Wednesday from 6 to 6:30 or whatever? And if they say, what's this about? Then you bring whatever you want to that appointment. And what I mean by that is you create a new habit for them so that they have some kind of set time for you and the family. So that's the first thing I would say, is to create an appointment so that you can have the floor, and it could be your decision to bring to that appointment anything you want to, and hopefully they will engage fully. So that's the first thing. Number two is, are you eating meals together? If you're eating meals together, that is a wonderful way that, if you look at Jesus's ministry, what did we hear so many times that they dined for hours? They were constantly had these meals together. Why is that? Because as people are feeding themselves and satisfying that need, right? There's also that room for a conversation. And it's usually a very healthy, it could be a very healthy discussion when things are all calm and peaceful and stuff. And so that's a wonderful way, is to meals bring people together. That's the other thing. Anna, the other thing I would say strongly is, you're 23 years old and you're a beautiful soul. For you to want to be with your parents, they should drop everything and want to be with you. Because I work with a lot of parents, Anna, whose kids want nothing to do with them. Okay? And you want to have a relationship and have interaction with your parents. Your parents need to respond to that. And so I would in a heartfelt way, whether it's through a little note, a little card, write it out. Mom and Dad, I need to be with you. I want to be with you. Please set aside time, dedicated time for me, your daughter, Anna, to pray together, to sing together, to watch a movie together, to talk, to do whatever. But put it down from your heart and give it to them. Now, if they don't respond, you can't really force anybody to do anything, but at least you came from your heart without it being, something of a frustration level. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's really helpful. Sorry, I'm like tearing up because what you were saying about like parents wanting to spend time with their kids. And I think they do care about me. Like, I know they love me. I don't think they realize like that it bothers me this much. But what you were saying about meals, like we've always had meals together. I've been working late for the past few months, so I missed dinner. But it is a struggle trying to just have conversation with them sometimes, even during meals. But I will try the appointment thing and writing them a note.
Anna, I just had a quick question for you. You said you're 23. How has your relationship? Have you connected with your parents before, like when you were growing up? Were they more attentive to you, gave you more time, like during the time that you were growing up? Because the insight that I got is possibly they're thinking, well, she's an adult now, so she doesn't need us the way she needed us previously. So I'm just wondering, when you were growing up, did you feel that connection with them? Did they give you the time you needed?
Honestly, I'm not really sure. I'm the youngest of 7 kids, and growing up, they were pretty busy. But like I'd come to them, or I'd like go to my siblings when my siblings were living with me. But we've never been like a really like close, like emotional family, and so I've really been trying to get more emotional support from my parents in the past couple of years, and it's been a little hard.
You may want to suggest, Anna, that maybe the 3 of you could go to some kind of counseling or coaching or something of that nature, because it could really help, believe it or not, because the other party that's there listening can kind of get your parents to see a different angle of this. You know, your parents raised a big family. Okay, it takes a lot of energy, a lot of effort to do that. And you're the baby of the family, and you know what? You're right. They're probably like, you know what? She's well on her way. She's doing good. Whew, we're all exhausted. Okay, but still, you need that emotional connection. And I would also say, Anna, you might just want to let them hear this broadcast. And if you allow me real quickly, let me speak to your parents. Anna, if do I have your permission right now just to talk to your parents?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
So Anna's parents, if you're listening to this broadcast, you have the most amazing daughter. She's got a beautiful heart. For her to call into a radio show and share from her heart that she wants to be with her parents and wants to have this great emotional connection with her parents, that's huge. And a lot of parents would pay millions of dollars for that. And you have it, Anna's parents. You have it in your beautiful daughter, Anna. All you have to do is turn your attention and turn your heart to Anna and connect. And you'll see things just flourish, blossom, fly, just be beautiful. And that's what you deserve, Anna. That's what your parents deserve. And I pray, and by the way, to Anna's parents, you did a great job. Raising a big family is a hard thing. You did a great job. But now you have this beautiful daughter that you get to continue on with, and I think it's a wonderful opportunity. And I just pray that you all take it on, and really this would be the beginning of a whole new chapter of your lives. What do you think, Anna?
Thank you so much.
You're very
I
welcome.
really appreciate it.
Well, you're very welcome, Anna. And the most important thing we can offer you is prayers. And you're a first-time caller. I don't know if you listen to the show very much, but we have what we call the Take Two family around the world. And every time we mention a prayer intention, in fact, even before we mention it, the Take Two family launches into prayer. So you've got a lot of people praying for you and for your parents. Okay?
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
You're very well. Thanks for having the courage and taking the time to call in. We appreciate it so much. And if I would just add to what you said, Debbie, which I thought was fantastic, to Anna's parents, you don't have to throw your gadgets in the trash. You know, she's just looking for a little bit of time. So maybe just set them aside, for a few minutes, half an hour now and then. You've earned the right to enjoy your Kindle and your iPad and things like that. But you also have, as you said, Debbie, that beautiful soul, your daughter, your final child who will not be in the house. Probably before too long, she'll probably be out on her own as well. So just you can set those gadgets aside for a few minutes.
Absolutely. Well, do you know how many parents would absolutely love a 23-year-old wanting to pray with them? Mm-hmm. It's amazing. So Anna's parents are very blessed, very blessed. Well, technology is the topic for tomorrow. Can you believe that? No accident to that.
How's that for providential? Tomorrow our topic is technology controlling your life? That is tomorrow. Following that, on Friday, it's our urgent prayer show, God, I Need You Now. So thank you, affiliates, for carrying the program. Thanks, show team, and everyone at EWTN for their support. Debbie, it's been, I think, a very impactful broadcast today.
Absolutely. We love the Take Two family. Thank you so much for making the May All About Relationships show so grand. Until tomorrow, have a beautiful and blessed day. We ask St. Joseph, please pray for all of us. See.
The most original and exclusive Catholic content is on EWTN Radio.
My life is split between the search for the supernatural and the retelling of the credible and verifiable accounts of true instances of miracles. I think that people are inspired hearing these stories, and it bolsters people's faith to spend even just a few moments with the miraculous.
The Miracle Hunter with Michael O'Neill, Saturday afternoon, 1 Eastern on EWTN Radio.
EWTN, the Global Catholic Network.
The only program in all of Catholic media that can take days off your purgatory. The Doctor is In is next on EWTN.